Well, today I want to do a dish that it's an actual spread. Okay, this comes from a family in Greece that we had met many years back, and it's a really good spread. They make this for kids. It's like a dessert item. Okay, because you can spread it on bread, eat it as a dessert. It's not very sweet like candy is, so it's a little different, but it's kind of a nice treat for kids. We like to use it on different things. My wife actually uses it on rice cakes, which is interesting. She likes them. And it's really nice too because it's shelf stable. So once you make it, you can put it into jars or into containers. I use like these small mason jars, but you can put it into a little plastic container with the lid or whatever, and it's shelf stable. You don't have to keep it refrigerated. It's very simple recipe. 4 ingredients. We have, usually they use walnuts, okay, but I have almonds. You can use whatever kind of nut you want. There's 4 ounces in here. I chopped this up using my Chardor mini food processor, which is a little awesome machine. I love it. I got a jar of tahini. You can use whatever kind of tahini you want. This one happens to be an organic one that I picked up. This is a 16-ounce jar, so you want 16 ounces of tahini. Dark chocolate. I got 4 ounces of dark chocolate. Now this is an Icelandic dark chocolate. You can use whatever dark chocolate you want. You just don't want a sweetened one, okay? And the big ingredient here, one of the main flavors, is the pomegranate molasses. Now I have found this in the grocery stores. It may be hard to find in there, but it should be around the molasses area or syrup and stuff if you look in the stores. You may find it a lot easier to find in ethnic stores. They'll have it. But anyway, pomegranate molasses. All right. A couple things you need. You need a pan with water in it. You got to make a double boiler. Okay. So if you don't have an actual double boiler set up, you're going to use a stainless bowl on top of a water bath. Next thing you're going to need is you need a spatula, and then you will need something to store your spread in. And I'm using mason jars. And once you do make this, it's completely shelf stable. So it's an awesome product. Anyway, let's get the camera over to the stove, show you how to get this spread put together. Again, tahini chocolate spread. Okay, I got a small pan on the stove, a bowl. You don't need a very big one. Got water in the bottom. Start up your stove. Now, you want to get this nice and hot, but not too crazy. You're going to want to melt that chocolate down kind of in a slower fashion. You don't want to heat it too hot. 4 ounces of dark chocolate here. I'll go ahead and put it right into the bowl. Okay, when you get everything organized at your stove, got your spatula, start moving the chocolate around, and the bottom is starting to get nice and warm. Now I've got induction, so this thing heats up really fast. All right, so again, we've got 16-ounce jar of tahini. We're going to use the whole thing. I got my pomegranate molasses. We're going to use a 1/4 cup of that. And we have 4 ounces of chopped up almonds. Again, typically they use walnuts, but you can use pretty much any nut. I've done this a few times with different kinds of nuts. All right, you can see the chocolate is already starting to melt. What I'll do, and I'll show you the bottom here. See, my water's already boiling. Now I'm going to cut that down because I don't want to get this chocolate too hot fast. So that's the first process. Melt the chocolate, then everything else can go in. Doesn't really matter which way you do it. Typically what I do is I'll put the tahini in next, and then I'll add the pomegranate, and then I add the nuts to it. Now you can also, if you don't have a food processor to do the nuts, you can find the nuts in the store. They have chopped nuts in bags. And what I like to do is take a mallet, if you have a mallet in your kitchen, and you can use it on a board or whatever, and just kind of pound them down a little bit to pulverize them a little bit more so that it's not so chunky. And of course, once you get the chocolate melted down, you don't need to leave the stove on. Now, if you don't have induction like I do, you might want to, if you have a burner stove or you using a straight up electric, you probably want to move this off. But with induction, this basically shuts completely off right away. So you can see my water's hot, but it's not boiling. Go ahead and add your tahini. Oh, and by the way, just a little message to you here. I didn't show you this, but tahini, a lot of times when you get it, it's kind of separated in the jar. So you want to take a spoon or something like that and mix it really well first. to get it all put kind of back together. You want it to be a thicker mixture when you add it to this, so it's not separated. Also, if you wanted to, you could use the same jar that the tahini is in. It won't fit all of it in here, but you could use this jar if you wanted to use this too as one of your storage vessels. So there you go. Mix that in well. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add the pomegranate molasses, 1/4 cup. All right, we got our 1/4 cup of. All right, go ahead and mix that in really well. And go ahead and add your nuts to it. Okay, got it. All right, go ahead and mix in your nuts into the spread. Now, when this cools down, it'll get thick. It's like peanut butter. So as you see it now, so this is their version of Nutella. Okay, so if you like Nutella, you will like this. It's a little, not quite as sweet as that, but that's what this is sort of mimicking is Nutella. Okay, now you're ready to jar it up, put it in a container, whatever you're gonna do, and that is it. All right, guys, so this is the point where you're going to go ahead and put your spread into whatever vessel you want to use to store it. I'm using these mason jars. Now what you want to do is let these cool down to room temperature before you do close this, okay? But otherwise they are shelf stable. I use a spoon to help me out. The spatula is just a little too clumsy. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed up to this point. Subscriptions are free to join. They just let you know when I've dropped a video out there. Want to make your own Nutella in a totally different way? This is what you should be doing, okay? You guys have a fantastic day. Chef Leroy and out.